going to talk about the Spurs because
10-game
they
leader.
recently beat the Detroit Pistons. And then, yes, you're right. To make it to a 10-game win streak, they recently won the most recent game
Toronto
against the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
Good game.
So
They were
they-
getting kind of smoked, and then they came back and won.
Who the Raptors have a top-level defense themselves. They're
play some
a
good
very
ass
energetic team. They play really hard. But I thought the real, statement game was against Detroit, in which they just completely, shut the water off the first seed. Victor Wembanyama had, I think, 5 blocks in that game. Stephon Castle's defense continues to be, a difference maker for them. And now, according to the Phil Jackson 40-20 rule, which has been
Very
going around
important.
more and more as of
We made it.
recently, there are only 3 teams that meet the 40-20 rule criteria, which means
We just missed it.
40 wins before you get 28th
There you
loss.
go.
The Pistons, the Spurs, and OKC are the only 3 teams that match that criteria. And on Polymarket, according to the public, OKC is still the favorite to win the championship.
As
But
they should be.
And
the
Chase back tomorrow.
Spurs are number 2 at 14%.
As they should be.
Do you believe the Spurs can win the NBA Finals this year?
If you believe that the Spurs can beat Oklahoma City,
Can they beat Denver?
You should believe that they can win the finals. Can they beat Denver? Interesting question. I don't know because
I like Denver's team.
it depends on the health of the team.
Yeah.
If they are what they've been showing these last few weeks, last couple months, I'll take San Antonio. A healthy Nuggets team, great series. I would lean the experience. I will go with Denver. However, we've seen when the two teams match up at full strength, when it's the Spurs versus Oklahoma City, the Spurs have been the only team to consistently go bar for bar with Oklahoma City, but this season they have been the more dominant team over Oklahoma City. The difference maker being, outside of the obvious, Victor being the best defender in the world, because even last night in a game versus the Raptors where he only had 12 points, he just made his defensive impact felt overly, and that was one of the swings in the game towards the end of the game. But that obviously being a different, but like you mentioned, Stephon Castle taking this gigantic leap defensively, and just a leap as a whole. You mentioned De'Aaron Fox in episodes past and how he was one of the more underappreciated players coming into this season because everybody was enamored with Stephon Castle, enamored with Dylan Harper being the second overall pick, who has also been excellent this season in limited opportunities as well, just maximizing the most of whatever opportunity the coach is giving him. But this defense is special. Julian Champagne and what he's meant in the three-point shot. We talked about Keldon Johnson in episodes past. The supporting cast is not getting as much love because you could argue people like me, which is fine. I'm fine to be a blame here too, because everybody just looks at Victor Wembanyama. But this team has been exactly that.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest question. We all thought that Wemby would be awesome. Obviously, we all trusted De'Aaron Fox, and we saw what Castle gave you in year 1, and Harper is a top 2 pick. We're like, oh, that sounds good. But our biggest question was, what's around all of that? And they're showing they're maybe not ready to win a championship, but they're ready to at least go on a run. And I think what Polymarket's telling us more than anything is just, we don't trust what's out east. We don't really trust what's going on in Detroit, the lack of a second scorer. We don't really trust Boston with Jaylen Brown being your 1. We don't know what Tatum's going to be. We don't really trust Cleveland because they haven't shown it. We don't really trust New York because Jalen Brunson and Cat, how are they going to be able to look in a 7-game series against one of these Western Conference teams? So as much, I think flowers you have to give to the Spurs and to OKC, I think it's also just a detriment to the East, saying that, listen, we understand that the Pistons are 6 games ahead, but we don't really care right now. That's how good San Antonio looks, and that's how good OKC looks, where to us, to Polymarket, that's the finals. Whoever comes out of that, we trust to beat whatever team comes out of the Eastern Conference. So I think what the Spurs have shown this season is they're going to have one of the best defenses in basketball. I think OKC is still number 1, but just in terms of defenses you fear, I think you can make a real argument that the Spurs are number 1, even if the defensive rating's not there, because Wemby just impacts so much more. And obviously Chet's a fantastic defender in his own right, but just it's Wemby, and he can get 5 blocks a game, and he's 7'6", and we know all the stuff that he could do. But then on the perimeter, you have all of these other defenders, Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox and Slash. They're deep, and they have multiple layers, and it is really more than just Wemby. And that's what the Spurs had to be. That's what any team has to be if you want to win a championship. I just don't think we were expecting to go this fast. This 10-game win streak, I think they're 2 games back on OKC now, which is crazy because OKC started 24-1. They dealt with injuries and stuff. That's not to discredit them, but I mean, the Spurs get the 1 seed. Like, they could finish the season as the best regular season team in the NBA, or at least in the Western Conference, and no one's going to want to go up against them. I think, funny enough, I feel like OKC might be a bit of a better matchup, even though they'll end up being the better regular season team, because we've seen so far in this regular season 1-3 against them. And as good as Wemby is defensively, I just don't know if he's gonna be able to hold Joker. Like, I have more faith in him holding down the Thunder, Chet, protecting the rim against SGA and J-Dub driving, than just shutting down Joker, which no one's really been able to. Zubac was the best defender we saw last season. Even still, like, he's going to give you, 24, 12, and 10, or 24, 10, and 6, whatever it was. But the Spurs are showing they're real. Like, this isn't a regular season team. You have the superstar in Wemby. You have the number 2 in De'Aaron Fox. And they have real two-way players around them that basically every championship DNA team has.
Fun fact. My cousin was the point guard at high school when Julian and his twin brother, when they played at high school.
Tough. The Champagne twins?
Yeah, my brother was their point guard. No, not my brother. My cousin was their point guard.
Lit.
Yeah, fun fact. That game, Detroit and the San Antonio game, was interesting because all the stars play like shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was really like just two battle-tested defense, or two defenses trying to make a point, really just giving each other hell. Like, you had guys like Stephon Castle. I really love how he moves in the pick and roll and stuff like that. Be aggressive. Even he had a slightly inefficient night. Vassell was probably their best, most efficient scorer. A lot of wide open looks he was getting. But defensively, you saw Wemby struggle on the offensive end. You saw Fox struggle on the offensive end. You saw Cade massively struggle on the offensive end. Like, it really was just who role players can step up. And you saw San Antonio's guys really grind in and get some offense going. I think the Joker point is interesting because we watched, I think it was for a small stretch in the fourth quarter, where Jalen Duren was just able to bully Wemby. He was just able to impose his will and bully Wemby. And that was the I guess I want to say the 40 or 30 pounds that Duren has on him. And that's the type of mismatch problems that the Joker could cause for Wemby because of his how big he is and how strong he is and stuff like that. Wemby's a bit skinnier on that end. But it's a 3-team race. San Antonio, Denver when they're healthy, OKC when they get healthy. I know OKC's dealing with damn near, I think 2 guys got hurt last night, if I'm not mistaken. It was Brooks and I think Isaiah Joe. Don't remember off the top of my head, but that team is battered, injured right now. So maybe San Antonio can catch up on the polls. But right now it's OKC, Denver, San Antonio. I think everybody provides a different matchup for everybody. I think Denver is most equipped to play both of them teams. I think they provide the most experience. Probably the same experience, but you got Peyton Watson stepping up this year, being awesome. Jamal Murray giving you that, playoff rise in the regular season. Then you got guys like Aaron Gordon, Cam Johnson starting to figure it out. So this team is super deep. With San Antonio, you're just going to have to rely on guys like Harrison Barnes to his threes when they matter. Devin Vassell to be just as efficient as he was against Detroit. Guys like Keldon Johnson to continue to be efficient from the three-point line. These aren't reliable guys come playoff time, and those are you're going to have to rely on. But like Drew mentioned earlier, I mean, Wemby has not been good offensively his past 2 games, but he's so impactful defensively that he's going to always leave a mark. I mean, Detroit is one of the best teams at destroying the paint, and outside of Jalen Duren, nobody was able to get it going. He was able to alter shots, alter rim attempts. Asar couldn't get to the rim. Ron Holland couldn't get to the rim because Wemby is down there. So he's going to always have that impact. Can they win it? Yeah. I still think OKC and Denver, I'd probably take over them. But it's a 3-team race. I think it's those 3 teams, and everybody else in the West is just waiting to lose.
The Spurs can win the NBA Finals. They're that good. Usually when you are a team that is one of the favorites to win it all, you not only have the roster, but you have the superstar talent.
Yep.
OKC has Shea. The Nuggets have Jokic. The Spurs have Wemby. The Spurs have that level of rare talent that can will a team to a championship. They also have the roster. The one thing that can hold them back is the 3-point shooting. They're bottom 10 in 3-point percentage this year. So that can be a little bit inconsistent and spotty. But they're 6-1 this season against OKC, Denver, and Detroit combined. They have dominated those matchups. They're 3-1 against OKC. They have dominated those matchups outside of one loss that they had. And they have a formula to neutralize their offense by funneling Shea to the paint, and then he sees Wemby, and what you're able to do, how you're able to score, the spots that you usually like, they're just not available to you when he's guarding that area of the restricted area. And then Stephon Castle, against all of these elite players, he held SGA to 31% from the field. He's holding Luka to 38% from the field. He's holding Devin Booker to 22% from the field. He held Kate to 23% from the field. Stephon Castle has been an elite perimeter defender, and if you have that combination of a star premier defender on the wing and then one of the greatest, if not the greatest, rim protectors in basketball, then that can take you very far. And they're a top 10 offense as well. And they can be a little bit sporadic, but we've seen Wemby also score like 25 points in 7 minutes before. Like Wemby can always go off offensively, but their floor defensively gives them such a safe avenue to where you know that's type of effort you're going to get on a night-to-night basis where they can shut you down. So I think Wemby, he's good enough right now to get them to the championship and to win it all. I think we're seeing one of the best talents in NBA history that rivals like when Shaq came to the league, Kareem came to the league, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, like those level of talents to where it's very evident early on that if they get a good supporting cast around them, they can very easily win, even if it's a second year.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said.
No reservations. Like I'm 95% confident, 100% confident in terms of defense.
It's about the number 2 guy.
I think offensively for Wemby, he should be fine in the playoffs, right? But we just haven't seen that yet. And I think for majority of players, like we did this with Shea for a while, where it's like, it'll just be fine. Like he's so dominant in the regular season that it's like, we don't, even though you should question it, we don't really question it. Wemby's just a little bit different, obviously because of the physicality that we see in the defense. And I think there's one thing you can still get him at, like you're saying, Duren is able to bully him at times. That's really my only question. And I don't think that's a knock on Wemby by any means, but in terms of really reaching that ceiling is offensively, is he just going to be dominant enough in the playoffs? Like, because as good as Fox and Cass and all these guys are, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to Wemby. Like, he's still going to have to average 25 plus probably.
I think he's going to be his most dominant. Right now, he's averaging 24 and 12, and he's playing 29 minutes per game.
True.
Wembanyama in the playoffs, when he's up in it and he's playing 36 to 38 minutes a night. How
could you even doubt this, Joel?
They overwhelmingly win their minutes when Wemby's on the floor. Now you get that for an extended period of time because he's not saving his body to manage it throughout the season. Now it's the playoffs. He's going to play 40 minutes if he has to. I mean, him being on the floor for that long, that's essentially 40 minutes of you can't score in the paint.
It's tough
on the Spurs.
It's tough. I don't think it's going to be about Wemby per se because, like, looking at the West, it's 40 minutes of him versus 40 minutes of the Joker. So it's going to be like a cancel out thing. Like, Joker's going to do what he does. Wemby's going to do what he does. I really think it's going to be about the other guys. You know, like, can Fox match Jamal Murray's impact? You know, can guys like Keldon Johnson, Harrison Barnes match Peyton Watson, Cam Johnson, Aaron Gordon? Like, it's going to be about the other guy. I think Wemby's going to be great. Like, I think that's going to be fine. It's, like you mentioned, the role players, the guys, because it's lately the league is very driven towards you can have the guys.
So true.
But you need the role players.
So
you need
true.
the guys who step up. You need the Derek Whites of the world to just magically step up. The Drew Holidays to hit 50% from the three-point line in the corners. You need your Aaron Nesmiths from Indiana to just go lights out in moments. So
it's true.
Who's going to be that for them? Because I think that's, like, even Dallas had their PJ Washington, who just went crazy for a series. You know, Minnesota had their Rudy Gobert be his elite, impactful self against Phoenix. It's that type of thing. Because I think a superstar is a superstar. You mentioned guys, MJ. He was always great for the most part. LeBron, he was always great for the most part. You know, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, like we can go on and on. Superstars tend to either up their level or stay the same, but they're going to always have that level of gravity to where things are going to open up for the other guys. It's about, you know, impact. I watched, 2023, Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole missed the most wide open shots in NBA history because they just couldn't hit shots, you know? So it's all about
it was awesome.
how role players now dictate it more than ever. And when you're going up against Denver and OKC, where Denver has a roster of really good role players, and OKC, everybody knows their role, everybody understands the assignment, they have an identity, I think that's where it gets a little tricky.
I think it's perfectly said, Riv, because you look at the difference between OKC, the championship team, and OKC, the second round exit, was the role players and their inability to step up and rise to the occasion, which is the one avenue where I can understand people doubting the Spurs' ability to go and win the championship is their lack of experience. That's fair because OKC lacked that experience in 24 and they were outclassed for majority by the Mavericks. I thought that coming in, OKC was the more talented team, the better team. Shea was Shea. Like you mentioned, you're going to have your superstar be your superstar. But then you have Case and Wallace going 0 for 6 in the final game. You have J-Dub not being the guy you saw in the regular season. Chet Holmgren getting bullied by Lively and Gafford. You just need your role players, even though these are, again, J-Dub, Chet Holmgren, these are levels to role players, of course, but they were the difference in winning and losing that series, and they didn't show up, they lost. Next year, they showed up, they won the whole thing.
I think San Antonio has that. I feel like Fox is the obvious second guy.
Easily.
But then I think Devin Vassell is like very reliable.
He is, but I want to say this.
I want to see it.
This guy, Dylan Harper, he should not have the game look this easy.
Fox, it's tricky. I don't want to say Fox is not reliable. We've only seen him in one playoff series.
He averaged 30.
He did. But like now it's a different beast going up against Alex Caruso, Lou Dort, like Case and Wild. Like this isn't going up against.
Do you want to hear the goofy thing? The goofy thing is that they're going to put Caruso on Wemby. Because the whole mantra in this league is that you put a tough guard that's going to really just tire Wemby out. And I don't think that is fair logic. I think that's stupid.
I just don't think they also have a big body. Like, because Detroit didn't do that. They just put Duren on Wemby.
I think that's what you should do.
Yeah, like they don't have, like Chet's not going to bully Wemby out of there.
Also, Wemby sees Chet and it's food.
It's understandable.
If
you see somebody your size, you better.
Well,
but Duren's a fucking tank.
Yeah, he's huge.
Wemby and Chet have a real rivalry. Like
it's not a rivalry
like
to me.
each other.
It's one-sided.
It's so it's like Philly and Boston. It really is one-sided.
It could be one-sided.
I don't think Chet wants it to be a rivalry. I think just Wemby wants it to be. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, it could be one-sided, but yeah, Wemby definitely gets up for that matchup. Like he
definitely he gets up for sure. I think Chet's just like.
Isn't it beautiful to see Wemby like embrace those? Like but it's. Like you can watch it happening in real time.
Hell yeah.
That is cool.
Like I saw Detroit and San Antonio embrace it. Like they were like, they hated each other and that's the first time they met.
I think that's an underrated part of the game too, where even
and those are the young teams.
A minor part of it is in the All-Star game where you saw the young guys have their opportunity. Cade and Duren stick out to me the most where they were playing defense. Yeah. Like it was obvious to me that they were making it a point of emphasis.
Some franchise players don't play D. Mine does. Some don't. Mine does.
Mine does.
I think with Fox, Vassell, Castle,
really gets in there.
And I think Harper, they have enough. They definitely have enough penetration.
Yeah.
To create shots.
And then Luke Cornett off the bench is not the worst backup option.
I think him is matchup dependent.
Well, I think in Spurs we saw last year with Boston, like he was able to go up there against New York.
But I say that they're a deep roster. Yeah. They're deep. What's that? 9 guys?
I think New York plays 2 bigs sometimes.
Yeah.
So if you play 2 bigs, you could throw Cornett.
And I've seen what Wemby does to the Knicks.
Yeah.
It's actually fucked up.
Of the top 4 teams in the league, when we look at OKC, San Antonio, Denver, and then Detroit, you can argue Fox is the best second guy there. You can argue it for Jamal Murray too.
Yeah.
Like it's offensive options. Ooh. Like I think he's a better offensive player than J-Dub. I do.
Yeah.
That's
fair.
Yeah.
And then Chet.
But J-Dub's a better player.
Yeah. Defensively.
Yeah, the defense. Yes. But this year has been rough for him. He has to find his footing again.
You also can't. Never mind.
This year, Jamal.
Yeah. Jamal's been the best out of the 3.
Yeah. This year, but Jamal and Fox is a real debate.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I think the fact that they have a second guy.
I'd leave Jamal though if we talk playoffs.
Exactly. Jamal
that could go up with any other second guy.
Yeah. Ooh, that is a good debate.
I like Jamal's
J-Dub and Fox.
You know what it is? I remember. I think it's kind of like because remember how you told me. I'm use what you said against me. You was like you like Khan over Harper because of the shooting aspect. I think that kind of fits in here where Jamal is the much better shooter than Fox, which is why I would lean him a little bit more.
That's how I feel about J-Dub personally.
He's a better what?
J-Dub with 31% from 3. This year he's
J-Dub is streak. He's just better.
J-Dub is very obviously injured.
Yeah.
He's very obviously injured.
He also has no wiggle.
No, but he's strong. He gets to the rim. He can shoot well when he's
efficiency
healthy.
kind of fell off last year too.
He's
in the playoffs. He was inconsistent.
From his second year where he was like 50, 40, like 90 damn near.
I mean, what do you think he dropped off to?
35% from 3.
Let's see.
His 30.
Gotta give him a little grace for sure.
I do agree with that. Like that's why Jamal Murray.
He's 37.
Jamal Murray, I think you can argue
teams are leaving him open
because of the spacing.
They leave a lot of the OKC Thunder.
None of them are shooters.
The thing is, that's why I love the Spurs matchup versus OKC.
Yeah, but J-Dub, I don't think he's a better scorer, playmaker than De'Aaron Fox. It's really just simple as that. Like, I think J-Dub, he's really good, but he can be an offensive black hole at times. And it doesn't really matter because he plays for OKC, but
yeah, that's nuts.
He definitely
Black hole.
He can be.
It's unfortunate. This year, I'd say it's been more known this year. Yeah.
He's been hurt. He's barely played.
But here's what I'll say to what you just said before about the jump shooting. I think De'Aaron Fox has become a jump shooting player. I think that De'Aaron Fox,
I think he's more streaky.
He's not the most efficient jump shooter, but his game is very much jump shooting reliant. Like, he takes a ton of mid-range shots. He takes more threes than ever. He can still get to the basket, but his game is not one-dimensional. He has a lot of different facets in his offensive game to approach.
I think that's what you kind of want Fox to do. Like, like if you're a defense, I want Fox to take the jumper. I want Fox to shoot this three. I mean, like,
but his mid-range is efficient.
It is, like, but like as I'm watching the Detroit game, like, they were very comfortable with guarding Fox. He wasn't an issue. Like, we're talking about a year or two, Ron Holland, like, really putting pressure. Like, he had Asar a few times, but he didn't fully commit to the rim. He took jumpers, and it was like, that's kind of what you want. You know what I'm saying? With Jamal, I'm a little bit more like, shit, because this is he's less explosive. You know, he's more of a wiggle type of player. He's more of a skill type of player in the sense of where he likes to get to the spot, hit this mid-range jump shot, come off the pick and roll and stuff like that.
And he's been really good in the non-Jokic minutes.
Yeah, so listen, I can't wait. I'm excited for it. Those are the three teams, though. All these other teams suck.
Yeah, but all the stats really have shown this year that the Spurs, even with Wemby on the court, they have a positive net rating.
Yeah, they're good.
You know, even without Wemby on the floor, you throw out any different type of lineup combinations, they're positive. Like, they win without Wemby. It doesn't mean they don't need him, but it just means that even without Wemby, the floor of this team, the way they play, they have really high floor, and you know what you're going to get every single night.